Between Brains, a podcast made by students for students. Today's episode, we're going to talk about veganism, and I have two beautiful guests beside of me. Do you want to introduce yourself, maybe?
Sure.
You can say.
Hi, I'm Maike. I'm 21 years old and I'm from Germany.
I'm Carolyn. I'm 22 years old and I'm from Austria, Vienna.
Perfect. The first question, the most important question here, are you both vegan? When did you decide to become vegan?
Do you wanna? Okay, I can start. Well, I basically became vegan 1.5 years ago, just after I moved here to study, basically. So I moved out and I had to cook for myself, buy my groceries on my own, and I was like, I don't know, I had to kind of think about what I was gonna make and everything, and I just started to learn a lot about nutrition and what to eat and all of that, and I decided to become vegan.
Oh, that's really simple. I became vegan 4 years ago, so it's a longer journey. I became vegan because I had quite some health issues to start with. So first of all, I had a really high cholesterol level. For my age, it was really high. And then I kind of read into how you can lower it naturally, and also I had really bad issues with my digestion, and also I couldn't really process dairy and meat, so I always felt bloated. So health reasons was the main reason why I went vegan in the first place. But of course, then you educate yourself.
Yeah,
and
yeah, of course, yeah.
Yeah.
Then also, that was my experience as well. I'm not vegan, but I feel like if I eat dairy or meat, it feels like I've just ate tons of stones, basically. Right. So I try to not do that anymore, or not as much. But
you feel really full, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
You feel and for hours.
Yeah.
It just takes hours to get over what you just ate.
Yeah, it's like a food baby.
Yeah.
You just have to,
it's basically like food coma.
Yeah.
That's the word. And so you decided to become vegan just because you moved out, and
well,
what was the reason behind it?
There's a little bit more to it. I never really liked meat ever. When I grew up, I never really ate meat.
I'm shocked.
I know.
I love the taste of meat. So
Same.
I'm weird, maybe, but
it was just never
cool.
something that I liked. I don't know. Whenever my family and I, we had the normal stuff that you eat in Germany or in Europe, I guess. And I would always just pick out the meat because I never really liked the taste. I never liked the texture of it. It just always got super dry in my mouth, and it just disgusted me, as weird as that might sound to some people. But so you could say that I was vegetarian before. And then, when I moved out, I never bought meat anyway because, I don't like it. Just like some people don't like broccoli, so they don't buy broccoli. It's just simple as that. And then as I said before, I started learning more about what to cook, and because I don't know, I want to live healthy and try to feed myself with good stuff. I just learned a lot about it, and I actually got into the effects that dairy and animal products have on the body, and I was like, oh my gosh, why would anyone eat that? And then I decided for myself to just cut it out and not eat it anymore, and I don't think I've lived healthier ever in my life before, and I don't know, I enjoyed it a lot, and I feel so good, and there's no reason for me to go back.
It's actually so funny, right? Because if you do a lot of more research into veganism and eating dairy or animal products in general, if you're a child, you eat yogurt, drink milk for your bones because it's supposed to be healthy. You get told that very often, so it's so funny how we actually think that is healthy for our bodies.
Those are not facts. This is marketing.
Exactly. It's
that's
pure,
the problem.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's big companies behind it, I guess. But just the thought of it, getting told that it's very healthy, but it's actually not.
I mean, the fact is you can eat quite unhealthy and still be vegan. Oreos, for example, are vegan.
Coke is vegan.
Exactly. And you can still be super unhealthy, and dark chocolate with 90% sugar is vegan if you think about it. But I think the main thing is that you have to educate yourself on what kind of nutrients the body needs and how you get them from plants. But once you know that and you have the basics down, it's so easy and not complicated at all. And I don't know how you feel when you cook stuff, but I don't know, it's just so simple. And
are there more steps while cooking?
No, not at all.
What do you think?
You just need to cut more vegetables.
Yeah.
That's the only step that is additional, but not really.
And
Actually,
I mean, that kind of plays into the fact that I never really liked meat, but I would not know how to like
cook
make
it.
a steak or something.
I actually learned how to cook meat and processed it, and I went vegan afterwards because like I had to do it for school. So
Yeah.
I learned everything in that regard, and I was actually really good at cooking meat. But yeah, now I'm vegan, so it kind of doesn't really make sense now. But do you think that you not liking the taste of meat was actually also made it easier for you to transform? Because I personally love the taste of meat, so it was kind of a big step for me to take since.
I think that definitely was like
Yeah.
the fact, because the only thing I had to cut out was like milk in my coffee in the morning and
Yeah.
like yogurt from time to time. But
What about cheese?
oh yeah, I mean sometimes when there's like
Cheese,
a
oh,
lasagna,
cheese.
yeah,
That's
cheese.
a big.
When there's like a lasagna or something and you have cheese on top,
Cheese is like, oh.
Yeah.
it's like addictive. You like get addicted
thing
to
is,
cheese.
They made
Like-
this experiment, right, with the mice or something like that, where they fed cheese and sugar or cocaine or something like that. Cocaine.
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah.
it triggers the same brain cells. In
Mhm.
the, I don't know.
Yeah,
Something
it's
like that. I don't know
actually-
the
yeah.
exact.
No, I know that as
Yeah.
well. Like it triggers the same part in your brain that cocaine
Yeah,
does.
right.
Not in like the same amount, obviously, because
Yeah.
cocaine is a lot worse than cheese.
Yeah.
But it does trigger the same part of the brain, and you get addicted to it. It's like a
Yeah.
fact, and that's why I think most other people that try to go vegan, they say
They
I
struggle
cut out
with
the
the
meat, I
cheese.
cut out the dairy, but or like the milk, but cheese
cheese
is the
is the
hardest thing
problem.
to cut out.
Yes.
So
I feel that. Because we're roommates and I tried to go vegan for like a
Alright.
month and it worked out, but like the cheese is a big.
Yeah, you
factor
just
that
need
I,
to.
like-
Yeah, there's like one good cheese alternative if you really like the taste of cheese. I think it's from Simply Vegan. I don't know if you have that in.
oh, I had
Mhm.
a brand though.
Well,
Yeah.
I tried it in Germany, but I don't think they have it here. I
Yeah,
never
there's
saw
yeah.
it though.
Like you just need to if you want to transform into veganism, you find something that kind of substitutes.
Replaces it, yeah.
A lot of people don't know why people just don't eat like meat instead of eating the substitute, because I mean, why would you eat a substitute if you can eat meat? But for people like me or people who like the taste but don't want the negative side effects
Mhm.
that come with meat or dairy, it's a good alternative, I
Yeah.
guess.
And I think especially for people that try to transition
Yeah.
for whatever reason, as you say, they are good alternatives. But then again, who knows what is in those products? Like
Yeah,
what
I
kind of
don't
chemicals and
eat
preservatives
those
and me
products,
neither.
to be honest. I stick to the basics, and it's less it's much cheaper
Oh, definitely.
to buy like
yeah.
potatoes,
That's
lentils,
also a
and
good
something
point that you say
veggies.
it
Yeah.
because
It's
everyone
less,
expects vegan products to
No.
be way more expensive. And I mean, if
Yeah,
you
the
buy the
substitutes,
if you buy
Yeah.
the substitutes, of course, I mean,
They are
it may
expensive.
be
It's-
expensive, but good meat is also expensive. So,
But you have to take a look also at the poorest countries on the planet. They are consuming like rice, like oats. Those are like the general things they're consuming because they're the cheapest,
Mhm.
and that's why people don't think about that.
Mm.
Like, and that's why like the basic stuff, the basic vegan stuff that you don't even think about being vegan, is the best for your body and is also the cheapest.
And it's about like, at least for me, it's about real foods. Like all
Yeah.
you need to eat is real foods,
Whole
non-processed
plant
foods.
foods, yeah.
Exactly, and you don't need fancy vegan cheeses or vegan chicken or vegan sausages
Mhm.
or whatever. It's like just eat real vegetables, real grains, real
Mhm.
legumes, nuts, seeds,
Yeah.
and you're good. Like that's all you need.
what do you, or how do you feel about going out for like having dinner or something? Would you order like substitute meat or anything else in your meal?
I think
Yeah.
that's like a
Or-
different thing, because at least for me, when I go out, it's like a special occasion
Yeah,
maybe,
right.
and it's I don't do it like every day. So on a special occasion, why not like eat a substitute? And if you don't go to like a specific vegan restaurant, sometimes they have like vegan burger patties or something, and that's a nice thing for them to do, because they try to accommodate people that don't eat animals, and I gladly accept that.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a nice additional thing to have, but I don't think
Yeah.
it's necessary. Like,
Yeah.
it's of course like they see the marketing aspect, because veganism is on the rise and people are going vegan. Like I think the percentage of people who are going vegan these days is like rising and rising constantly.
Yeah.
So it's not really a trend anymore, but it's like a movement, I guess. So of course businesses are picking up on the trend or movement to make money out of it. So that's also why like you have the business aspect as well. But of course it's good for us. So
I know,
to eat,
and it's a great thing, I guess, for not just us
vegans,
to find something or more places to eat, but also like for the environment, for the animals, and for like everyone's health who's doing it.
And everybody can eat it.
Exactly.
Almost everybody.
Yeah.
And
how did you experience your journey so far? Have you had like lots of negative reactions from your family and friends, or like positive ones? And
where do you get your protein from?
Oh my god. That's like the first question you always get asked, like, oh my, wait, but when you don't eat meat, where do you get your protein from?
From plants, like the strongest animals on the planet.
Like elephants, gorillas, zebras, like bulls, everyone, all of them just eat plants. And, but yeah, so far I have not had like any negative experiences.
Also in a social environment, really?
No, I can't recall. No, it's just well, a lot of people are like, they react well, and they're like, oh really, that's so cool, why did you just had to do it, like what's your favorite recipe, all of those kind of questions. And most people are actually interested and want to learn and are curious, also because I think nowadays it's such a like
it's easier,
well-known
4 years
topic.
ago it was
I can imagine,
completely different story.
I have to also say though, that's mostly the younger people and like today's generation, like our generation maybe. But when I told my grandparents, for example, that was like kind of different. They weren't against it or like stop doing what you're doing, like no, not at all. But it's harder for them to understand why I'm doing it, and I guess it's a sign for them that they care, but they are kind of concerned that I'm like starving myself or anything like that. But it's a learning progress for everyone, I guess. And I mean, I'm happy if I can educate people about it and explain how I'm getting all the things I need and stuff like that. But that was a bit of a different conversation than, say, another uni person or something.
Yeah. And do you feel like the older generations, for example, our grandparents, do have a bigger problem with accepting that there are a lot of more vegans today?
Definitely. I would agree.
I think they're used to
because they did it all their lifetime. That's the only thing they know. I mean,
I think it's also a luxury, right?
Yeah.
To have meat, because like if
for them,
I don't know how old your grandparents are, but like if they experienced, for example, war and they didn't have anything, so it's kind of also.
And it's been like you said, they ate meat their whole life, and it's such a cultural thing. At least like I guess in the Western countries, meat is such a cultural thing, and I guess for a lot of people it's hard to understand to not have Christmas without a goose, or like Thanksgiving in America without a turkey or something like that. So it's just because it's so ingrained in people's minds, it might be hard at first to understand it, but I don't know, I guess
that's true.
We've been lucky so far, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, like my parents, the first thing they asked me, like my dad, where do you get your protein from? And 2 years after that, he went vegan as well.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, I mean, he's kind of in the middle. He's eating mostly vegan, also because of health issues and heart issues. But a lot of people were criticizing me, judging me based on my choices on what to eat. And I get that why people do that, and they also get real defensive because they try to defend their personal choice, and they feel like I'm actually being offensive by choosing not to eat certain things. And people were saying, oh, why would you do that? And I love bacon, and ha 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 ha, like making fun. But I'm like, I don't even care anymore. I'm doing my thing. I don't want to put my ideal nutrition or whatever onto anybody else. Like, do your thing. I think it's quite good if you take the position of like leading by example, because it doesn't make sense if you're trying to convince anybody of your of your idea.
And I also think us as like, you could say a minority or whatever, it's like you want people to accept that you don't eat animals or like any animal products, but then at the same time you have to accept what other people decide to eat. So, and also, like you said, there's no point in trying to convince someone to cut out meat. If they don't want to cut it out, they are not going to do it. So the best thing I think is just to maybe you can cook for your friends, cook like a nice vegan meal and surprise them and kind of let them experience how great it can actually taste. And it's not just plain salad, as some people might think. As long as you are just nice about it, accept what people decide to eat so that they accept what you want to eat, that's, I guess, all you can do, and kind of in that sense.
Yeah. And also I feel like what people kind of miss about this lifestyle is that veganism is all about compassion, not only towards animals but also towards people. So this social component is for me personally stronger than my compassion to animals, as strange as it sounds, but I still like to be compassionate to my own species first. And to be honest, if somebody offers me something out of pure kindness that is not 100% vegan, I will eat it still, because I feel like this social component is way stronger from my like personal path. So I don't know, like this is one part that a lot of vegans miss, and they're getting like really aggressive and putting their ideals on other people, and I don't think that's a good way to go about it, you know?
Yeah, some people that decide to go vegan are quite like in your face about it, and
Yeah.
that's also a reason why I don't like brag with the fact that I'm vegan, and it's not like the first thing I ever say when I meet someone. It only ever comes
your
up.
identity,
exactly,
right?
Exactly.
So,
it's just what I eat, and it's not
also
like
it's weird to say like, hey, I'm Micah and I'm vegan. I'm not saying, hey, I'm Naomi and I'm eating meat.
exactly.
Like, that's not
like
what you do,
something that
right?
you say at first.
Also, like the people who put that into their Instagram bio, like, why would you do that?
Yeah.
Like, who's interested in what you eat?
Yeah.
It's
Except
I
your
don't
food
know,
blog, right? Like,
yeah, that's the thing. If it's something that's of course like a big part, of course it's a big part of our lives, I would say, but it's not like the only thing in our lives that kind of defines us and that makes us who we are.
Yeah.
Which is why I'm not like walking around saying, hey, I'm vegan, because you have those people that do that, and I'm not like trying to be one of them.
Like, I mean, you have two sides, because I have a friend and she became vegan, and she's trying to like convince and to force people into veganism, and I think that's not the right way to like do that. I mean, you can cook for your friends, and if they like it, you can just introduce them to like veganism, but not do it that way. But also on the other hand, when I tried the vegan challenge, people at home said, what do you eat as a vegan? Do you eat salad? What else do you eat? And I was like, well, there are so many options, not only salad. Like, why are you like this?
It's kind of funny the way that it as soon as you say that you're vegan, everyone kind of like jumps to conclusions and throws all these things at you. Exactly.
That's horrible. Like, people actually think that I'm a hippie and having dreadlocks and just living in a jungle and eating some grass. I don't know what they're thinking, but like that's just not the truth. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes it can get annoying in that way, which is why I think a thing like this, like a podcast, is great to, I don't know, just
raise awareness.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know.
And have you ever experienced some issues with your health while being vegan? I mean, you did it because of health issues before, or
I mean, I feel like it depends, because if you say vegan, you can be a junk food vegan. So of course, then you might have some health problems. But if you eat like a whole plant-based diet, a whole foods plant-based diet, then there are a lot of benefits.
Yeah.
And also for me, like my cholesterol levels, they sunk like extremely. I would never have been able to go that low with like medication or anything. So this is a good thing, because like my
it's
body,
actually great. It's
great.
Unbelievable that it's only because of your
of the nutrition
eating habits, right?
I mean,
did it help your dad though? Like,
yeah, it did. Yeah. But
cool.
it takes the time, you know, the body has to adapt. Of course, you probably have to run to the toilet 5 times a day, because you're not used to all the fiber that you're getting.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like when you're switching up, like when you switch to a vegan diet, normally you have benefits from it.
Yeah, of course you have to make sure that you know where you get all the necessary nutrients from.
And eat enough.
Yeah. That's another thing. A lot of people, they are used to these tiny portions, because meat, for example, and animal products have so many more calories per gram compared to vegetables. So you need to eat like a whole big bowl of salad to get the same amount of calories as you would with a tiny plate of meat, for example. And that's a mistake that a lot of people do in the beginning. They just eat too little, and then they're like, oh, I'm so tired. I want to sleep all the time. I have no energy. All these vegans told me I have so much energy and I'm so great, but that's not the case. Veganism is not great. Like, what do they mean? But So you have to educate yourself, I guess, before you make the switch. Because as you said, you can be a junk food vegan and not like eat the right stuff. But if you do and you eat all the right foods, it's just great. Like I mean, luckily I've never had health problems before, so I didn't do it out of a health reason because I wanted to cure something. But it's just like I have energy, I feel great, I'm not tired, at least most times. But that's a different, like, of course. And yeah, I remember when I first went vegan, I wasn't sick for like, or even had a cold for like 10 months, and that never happened before. Like there's always this like quarterly cold, if you want to call it that way. And I don't know, like when I get sore muscles from working out, they recover a lot quicker, and I don't know, it's just, it's great. I'm not sure, maybe that's from something else that I'm doing, I don't know, because obviously your body changes and you change and your habits change, and maybe it wasn't because of just the vegan diet, but I do think that it definitely helps with the overall health.
And as you said, you like have to know where you get all your nutrients from. Do you have to take supplements or anything like to adjust?
Do you take supplements?
I take B12 and vitamin D.
Vitamin D?
Yeah.
I also take B12, but not on a day-to-day basis because I'm doing blood tests every year.
Okay.
And my B12 is actually pretty high for a vegan. But yeah, B12 necessarily doesn't have to do with being vegan or not. It's because like B12 is from the bacteria in the floor that actually animals eat, so it's in the meat. But we live in a sterilized world, so everything is washed, everything is clean. So that's why we don't get B12 from vegetables anymore. And also partly not from meat anymore because the animals are not outside and eating the grass. So I think the vitamin B12 deficiency is not a problem that only vegans have, but also other people, and everybody should be tested on that. I personally take it sometimes, but not on a regular basis or anything.
Also, I think, I'm not sure about the exact number, but I think the body has like a 10-year storage of B12 until you actually get like into an insufficiency.
What I've heard
of
is
B12,
that like if you lack on B12, it's already too late. You know what I mean?
It's kind of dangerous, especially in little kids, because I think you need B12 a lot for like brain development and like the neurological system aspect. So you have to be kind of careful, especially if you raise like a vegan child. But I don't know. I mean, if you look at the, I guess, not agriculture, the like how they feed animals, there's a lot of supplements in there as well. So exactly. Sorry. So I'd rather eat like clean foods and take like 2 supplements that I can dose myself and know exactly what I take than eat meat and have like all of that within the muscle that I eat, or like the piece of meat that I eat. And I don't know how you feel about that, but
I agree. I mean, there's
and like, what do you like coming to children, as you said, like what do you think about having children and only
raising them
vegan.
Well, I mean, that's like a difficult topic, I guess, but if you think about it, I guess the human body was never meant to consume milk after you stop weaning, like you stop drinking your mother's breast milk. And especially, I guess 80% of the world is actually lactose intolerant, and like if you think about that, that's so weird that humans are the only animals that eat another animal's milk or drink another animal's milk. None of the other animals in all of the animal kingdom do that. So if you think about it from that standpoint, at least for me, that's kind of like a weird thing to do. So I would not have a problem doing like raising a child without milk. And the meat thing, I mean, I personally never really ate meat in my childhood as well. So, and I think I turned out quite alright. But again, you have to know where you get your protein from, which is not hard, but you have to make sure that you get all the other nutrients. And even from just like educating myself over the years, and I mean, I'm not planning on stopping anytime soon, I don't think. And you just learn more and more. I would feel weird not eating meat myself, but then feeding it to a kid.
Yes, of course. Also, like cooking it, like processing it, it would be just wrong. in a way, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't know too much about what children need compared to grown people. So I'm not, I guess.
I mean, you kind
qualified
of
to
course, have to
say,
do
but-
research if you want to raise a child like that, but like just
From my like gut feeling,
Exactly.
I wouldn't like give it meat or like dairy or eggs or anything. Yeah.
No, I mean, you always hear from the like crazy vegans who actually feed their child only vegetables and fruit. Like, those are a really bad example for vegans, and they are taken out out of the system and then put into the media and everything, and everybody is like, oh, how can you feed your child vegan? Of course, because you see the negative examples, but of course there are also like positive aspects, and you really have to educate yourself as an adult, not only as a vegan but generally as a person who gets children. I don't know, I personally would do it like this. I would just cook vegan at home, but I don't care if the child tries something that is not vegan outside. I don't have an issue with that. I mean, I don't want to push anything on my child, but like how you eat at home, everybody's pushing their nutrition on their children because like that's what they are eating and that's what they learned, and I want to give the values that I learned and the morals to my child, of course. So yeah, that's, I don't know, not necessarily 100% vegan, but at least in my house.
Yeah, makes sense.
Agree.
Yeah. And like coming back to vegans can also eat unhealthy.
Yeah.
What do you think about the stereotype that vegans eat healthier than non-vegans?
It depends, you know, like, I don't know, normally you can say that vegans are thinner. Like, there is actually a study done on that vegans and vegetarians are generally a bit lower in BMI or something like that. So, and also they don't get like the cholesterol, they don't get the saturated fats, they don't get the animal protein, which is actually cancerous. Like it's toxic when you eat it in a high quantity. So we don't get those negative aspects of animal products. Of course, we will be a bit healthier, but if you like drink Coke or if you consume chips, you still have fat and you still have sugar, which is not the best thing to go, especially from processed foods. So you have vegan processed foods, which are unhealthy. It would only be healthy if you eat like fruits, vegetables, lentils, beans, whatever. Like from this vegan group, you can eat everything, but like the processed things only in a small quantity, and then you will be healthy.
I also think, I guess most people do grow up eating animal products, and when you decide to make the switch to leave all of those products out, that kind of requires a lot of, you know, gaining knowledge and researching. So I think if you do that, you kind of learn a lot as you go in general about nutrition. So I think because of that, you automatically kind of eat more healthy just because you know more. But yeah, as you said, you can obviously still eat like sugary stuff that is vegan and without animal products. But yeah, in general, I would also agree that vegans are a little healthier than others. But then again, how do you define health? I think a lot of people have different mindsets about that and different opinions on that. You can ask so many like high-profile athletes that eat meat and like all of those animal products because it's good for them, but then you ask a doctor that promotes the vegan diet and they will tell you the exact opposite. So it totally depends on how you define health, I guess, but in general, just because you have to educate yourself a little more than just going to the supermarket and grabbing whatever you like. I think so.
And the most common question, I think, is, do you miss anything since becoming vegan?
Oh, I mean, I think it's just yes and no. It's been a learning curve. For example, I don't know, ice cream. Of course, there's cream and milk and all of that in there, but you can just either buy vegan ice cream, which is not like the healthiest option, but you could just freeze bananas and blend them up and add cacao powder, peanut butter, frozen fruit or whatever, and have like your vegan ice cream. And it's just about finding alternatives and different ways to make stuff to satisfy those cravings, I guess.
You can be more creative, I guess.
Yeah. So, and also coming back to like the whole cheese topic, of course sometimes you miss cheese and like the cheese pull when like you have something cheesy, but it's just
I never got that.
No, but what I mean is...
Not on pizza and
No,
lasagna.
I actually I'm getting sick of like.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's what I mean. Because
really?
now that you know so much about it and like you know how actually
Strange,
bad
right?
it is. I would
don't know.
never like want to eat cheese again. I don't know. It's might sound weird, but
Yeah, the funny thing is that for me personally, I miss fish. But the thing is, what I came to understand is that, like, the emotions that are actually connected with the product that you want to consume or that you're missing. So, for example, as a child, I grew up eating a lot of fish and a lot of seafood. So this tradition and these emotions that I relate to the dish, for example, come back to haunt me now, you know, because if you don't eat it and you connect certain emotions with the food, that's something that I miss, like this emotion, not necessarily the food, but also when you go to a different country and you have every country and every tradition has a culinary aspect that we cannot be part of, because most of the culinary experiences that traditions have are full of meat-based products. So I would say this is one part that I generally miss, is being part and being able to experience the culinary aspect of a tradition. Not necessarily the dishes that are provided, but just to be part of it. And also you sometimes feel left out if you're eating with friends. But I was like, in the beginning I was really upset because of that, but now I'm like,
I mean, it's your own decision in the end, and if you decide to do it for whatever reason that might be, you have to live with it. And part of that is sometimes being left out, or sometimes not having something on the table that you can eat that is vegan, and then you can make the decision, okay, I'm still going to eat that, or okay, I have to prepare my own food and bring it, or make an alternative. And yeah, as you say, there's a lot of cultural aspects that go around food and that kind of include food, so that can be a little bit difficult from time to time. But again, the missing part, I wouldn't say that there is an animal product that I couldn't replace.
Yeah, there's always a vegan vegan alternative. You can turn everything vegan.
I agree. Yeah.
And the difference between plant-based and vegan. What do you think about it? Where do you see yourself?
So yeah, vegan. I actually wouldn't call myself like vegan in a sense, because vegans get really offended if you use the term vegan when you're actually plant-based, and it's really confusing. Plant-based is a person who doesn't consume any animal products from a nutritional standpoint, from a health standpoint. But vegans are also eliminating all other aspects that are not vegan in daily life. For example, leather, shoes, down, pillows, or something like that. But sometimes...
Or in their cosmetic products.
I try to avoid it, but I'm not 100% there yet. So I would say plant-based would be a better wording.
Yeah, I agree. Everything I eat is plant-based, but I still have leather products at home, or... I mean, when I buy drugstore products, for example, I try to look that they are vegan and not tested on animals, for example. But sometimes even I'm not even sure if I know what is actually with an animal product.
Especially with makeup, right?
Exactly. There are so many weird things sometimes that you don't even know about that would be considered not vegan.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely plant-based. But I also wouldn't say that I'm 100% vegan. I don't know.
I mean, also the thing is, is it, of course, buying leather is ethically not the best thing to do, I know, but from a sustainable point of view, I mean, leather shoes normally are longer in life than plastic shoes, so that's something that I'm kind of struggling with. So where's the balance here? And also, how can I ethically, I don't know, how can I...
it's a difficult
really,
one. It's kind of like a fine line. I have a leather belt that I had for 5 years, and it's still perfectly fine. And I've bought plastic belts that broke in a month, and I was like, well, great, I'm gonna throw that out. And there's more waste. And if you have the whole environmental aspect and say I'm vegan because of the environment,
you throw it away, and then
it's kind of hard, and you have to, I guess, find a good balance for yourself. But that's why I guess you could consider us plant-based instead of fully vegan. But yeah.
And what do you think about people who were vegan maybe advertised it on Instagram or YouTube or wherever, and
went back to
eating meat or animal products.
There's a tendency now that I see on YouTube, especially that a lot of YouTubers, ex-vegan YouTubers or whatever they are called, are going back to eating meat. The problem is that they are normally following a really extreme diet before, a really extreme vegan diet, and they're pushing all their problems that they got from restricting the vegan diet to veganism. So some of them only consumed fruits and veggies. Like, this is not balanced. You also need some rice and potatoes and stuff. Also did water fast, which completely messes with your gut system. So, and then they're, of course, going back to eating animal products because their gut is kind of confused. And, of course, if you restrict something, especially when you already have a restricted food group, like the vegan food group, then, of course, you might get some problems. And that's because their mindset is not there yet, that they can eat sufficient and be healthy instead of restricting calories, because especially women are taught that they have to restrict calories to stay thin and whatever, and they still have that mindset when they go vegan, so they're restricting their calorie intake on a vegan diet, which is not a good thing to do because you need all the calories you can get. So
and you can eat as much as you want, literally you can eat everything. And
as much as you want from the right foods, like from whole plant foods you can eat as much as you want, from processed foods not so much, because they also are not good for you. But so this mindset kind of leads them there, and also it makes them switch again because they're feeling starved and hungry and they want something, and then
I agree. It's a difficult one because obviously if you watch a YouTube video you don't know the whole truth and what kind of went on. I would agree though, I think it's mostly about maybe their mindset, but I don't know, it's a difficult one because for me personally it's been such a great thing that I did that I can't imagine someone else feeling differently about it. And I guess once you try it and you experience the good stuff, then why would you go back to eating the old way? But I mean, again, it's everyone's own decision. Maybe they've been intolerant to something and they didn't know about it, and that's kind of why they are constantly bloated maybe, or they've developed something over time, who knows. But it's a difficult one, but again, everyone's personal decision, so you never really know why.
And also if for example, if they promote veganism on Instagram and whatever, they're identifying so much with veganism, and they put so much of their personal identity into veganism, and that is also a problem, because then if somebody says something that counteracts this identity or opinion or lifestyle, whatever, then this can be really crashing and really offensive to you. But so that's also maybe why there you see the switch, because people are saying no, fuck it, I don't care anymore. It's a cult, it's, and I don't know. It's really hard to describe.
Yeah, it is. But also, I don't know, I feel like sometimes people feel such a strong urge to constantly justify their actions and constantly say, I'm doing this because, and blah, blah, blah. And in the end, I mean, of course, if they've promoted it before over years and years and years, and they've been this vegan icon or whatever, it kind of is confusing to some people, especially if they have an audience, as to why they go back to eating animal products. But then this is it, why?
It's their own decision. I think it's a lot of pressure on them.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, but
and I think there's been especially in the YouTube community, there's been a lot of people that did it and that kind of built their channel and their community on the trend of going vegan, and they just kind of did it because it was cool. And I don't know,
you can make money out of it,
of course,
of course, everything. And they went back maybe to a non-vegan lifestyle because maybe there was another contract that was offered to them and it didn't fit their lifestyle. I don't know.
You never know.
Yeah.
And last but not least, what advice would you give someone who's maybe not sure about their decision to go vegan, or who's still transitioning? Maybe what would you tell them?
Watch documentaries. First of all, read books. China Study. There are multiple books, but China Study is one of the most known study that is on health-based reasons. and also watch documentaries on Netflix, like What
There's
the
so
Health,
many good ones,
Cowspiracy, Forks Over Knives,
Game
Earthlings,
Changers.
Game Changers. But Earthlings,
I never
is-
watched Earthlings.
Yeah, because it's really brutal. So if you watch that, you will be vegan in a second, because that's what's going on.
Yeah.
And actually, I saw that now that they actually discovered now in Germany and Austria, they filmed like in the slaughterhouses now, and it was on Stern TV.
Oh yeah, I heard about it.
Yeah, so those are multiple things that are coming up right now. And I think if you educate yourself and if you don't look away,
Yeah.
and you
Don't
also
close
find
your
out
eyes.
what's true for you, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have to kind of, find out what's true for you, find a good balance. And also don't rush it, don't feel any pressure. If you look into doing it, just swap out 1 meal a week or swap out 1 meal a day, and then
Yeah.
slowly and progressively do it. You don't have to say, okay, I'm going vegan tomorrow. You
Yeah.
don't have to rush it or jump into it. It's totally fine. You do it on your own pace. And I think education is a good one though, just because you can't just eat.
And then you can
cut pasta
justify
all
it,
day.
yeah. Because some people will say mean stuff, and people will judge you based on what you're eating normally.
And they want to know why you do it.
Yeah, and then if you give them some facts, then you can support the evidence first of all, and you can support your choice, and that's a good thing, right? You want to have kind of something in your hands that you can.
And you have to, in the end, I guess, do what makes you feel good. And if you, read something about the ethical point of the whole vegan diet, and you think, oh, I don't really want to support it, then don't support it. Don't eat meat anymore. But if you, I guess, again, just
Just
educate
do what you
yourself.
feel like, and
If you
do
want to learn
research,
about
right?
stuff, learn about it. And, read
And don't
about it.
sugarcoat anything.
Yeah.
People tend to find excuses why they're not doing things, and I think that's the number one thing. Don't look away. Don't sugarcoat anything. Look at the facts, because they're a lot, and try to dig deeper, because we have so much confusing evidence of what's healthy and what's not.
That's
and
true.
see who funds which systems and who funds which studies, because if you look at a study that is saying, yeah, meat is good for you, then see who funded the study. Because normally it's the meat industry.
Or the dairy industry for the other
So
products.
really dig deep and don't move on the surface level, because then you will find excuses why not to be vegan, to be
Okay.
honest.
Thank you for being here.
Of course.
Thank you for talking with me about
Thank you
this
for having us.
topic. And we're seeing each other next time. Thank you for listening.